get over it already, because before we start dwelling on things that don't matter, we have plenty of things that matter to dwell on. Today, I want to talk to you about our progress agenda, but before we get started with the talking, I have a question for you. Do you want it badly enough? Do you know enough reasons why you must do it? Ooh. You want to start a business. Do you really know why you must start a business? You want to build some influence. Why do you even need the influence? What do you want it for? Those things are important questions to answer, because they will help you in the pursuits, and they will certainly be useful in maintenance. I am so clear of why I need to push through this. All the factors around me indicate that I must. But let me give you the disclaimers before we get started. The universe is not against you. The universe is not here to punish you. It gets nothing out of your punishment. The suffering you experience is the resistance you give to the inevitable learning process. The more you resist what is inevitable, the more it will be pushed forward. The lessons you refuse to learn will be taught again. The classes you fail, you will be repeated at, and it will happen. So one man comes, one man takes advantage of you, you don't learn sense. Another man will come and he will take advantage of you, you don't learn sense. Another man will come, he will take advantage of you, until one day it finally dawns on you, it is you who needs to do things differently, so these buggers do not get to take advantage of you. And the day you realize that thing is a significant day in your progress. That lesson does not need to be repeated. You can move on to another lesson. Yeah? The lessons you don't learn, the classes you don't pass will be repeated until you learn, until you pass. And so a lot of us are caught in those cycles. And we don't understand why we are caught in those cycles. I've been caught in a lot of those cycles too. You find a job, it doesn't live up to the bill. Then you move on to another job. All seems fine for 5 minutes. Then the cycles begin again. The same routines begin. And for me, I finally recognized what it was. The universe was telling me that employment was not for me. That it's difficult for me and all that I am to be embraced by one job to deliver what I need. The legacy I need to build requires more than the wage of one job. The way I like to do things requires more money. The capacity I have built within myself is difficult for one job to embrace it. One teaching job to embrace it. At the moment, it seems to be an anthem everybody sings. Everybody tells me that I am underutilizing in what I do, and I am. People at work say it, people not at work say it, and I know and I hear it in my own head repeatedly. And guess what? The people at my workplace, Bilal, good morning. The people at my workplace crank up the heat. The classes that I should at least teach at this particular level, that would at least make me feel that I am using myself to an extent. Those classes have been stripped of me, and I have been given middle school class after middle school class. Good morning, Bilal. Middle school class after middle school class after middle school class. The people who did my timetable don't even understand what it is they are doing. The universe is just commanding them to do so. To them, they are doing whatever. But in understanding of how things work, I know that the universe is cranking up, telling me that this is not really what I should be doing, that I should be looking to do more. The certificates I have should have me lecturing in a university, lecturing, teacher training courses, doing stuff like that. that utilizes more of who I am. Anytime I try to make a cheap move, it doesn't work. None of my cheap moves are working, Apollonia. I should be able to take my CV and make any cheap move and it should work. None of my cheap moves is working. I recently spoke to somebody whilst I was trying to make a cheap move. The person looked at me and the person says, you know, nobody can afford you to pay you what you are ranked at for this. I looked at the person deadpan. I'm like, what do you mean? Yeah, your salary is way above this. If anybody accepts to let you do this, they will do so at a pay scale which is much lower, and it will be an insult to you. My advice is don't make these moves. It doesn't serve you. I'm looking at this guy like, excuse me, I am making a cheap move. I know I'm making a cheap move. You, a random stranger who's just met me making a cheap move, is the one about to preach to me. And I laughed. The move was so cheap. Even the person who was watching me. The cheap moves won't work. Because in my case, apparently, I am overpaid for the cheap moves. So even the cheap moves will not serve. I was thinking that. So these cheap moves, it's like, yeah. Natalia, how are you doing? The cheap moves are not working. Why are the cheap moves not working? The universe is determined to force my hand. Sewa, the universe is determined to force my hand to do the needful and to not make cheap moves. And for that reason, it is blocking every cheap move that I would have used to escape the real big gun. Blocking all the pathways to cheapness. And I'm here howling, screaming, because I am resisting. That's why I am suffering. I am resisting what is inevitable. I am refusing to do what I know should be done, because that path has some resistance. I do not want the discomfort, so I am looking for cheap, easy moves, and the universe is not going to permit it, because I've made too many cheap, easy moves. I wasted too much time. The universe is forcing me to do what must be done. That is the understanding I want to give you. So I will go to work. They will give me classes that are way underutilizing my skills. Why does the universe permit that they do that to me? The universe is doing that to me so I can feel undermined, that I can feel disrespected, that I can feel underutilized, so that I can be forced to work and move in my rank. And whilst we are at it, whilst I am refusing to do what I am supposed to do, guess what happens? Random people will wake up one day and just want to do random disrespectful things to you. If you ask those random people why they were disrespectful to you, they couldn't even explain. I have had the pleasure of speaking to somebody in hindsight of something similar when it was time for me to elevate years ago. And in the end, when I finally made my move and things did work, I looked at the person, I said, thank you. You are one of the reasons why I was forced to make this move. You made my life hell. What did I ever do to you? And she's looking at me like, what do you mean? You didn't do anything to me. You have no personal vendetta against me. And she's like, no. So why the hell were you so damn disrespectful to me? And she looks at me and it finally clicks. Oh my God. Yeah, I was, wasn't I? Why were you so mean to me? And she stumped. She doesn't even know why she was mean to me, because she was commanded to be mean to me by the powers that be. She happened to be, Stephanie, good morning. She happened to be the tool that the universe had chosen to teach me that lesson. She did not hate me personally. She did not really care about me that much. She did not even dwell on the reasons why, but she just felt the compulsion to disrespect me. She felt the compulsion to mistreat me. to do things that she knew was not even professional. She knew that her actions were unprofessional. She knew. But somehow she felt emboldened to do it. And so she did. And so she did. And guess what? That was part of the reason that forced me finally. I looked at this person, I'm like, how dare this person get to treat me this way? This person is not my equal in any way. Not my equal. Not in rank, not in qualification, not in age, not in experience, nothing. But this person just happens to be here and has taken it on themselves to disrespect me. I better remove myself from here. And that desire to remove myself from her nonsense is what finally whooped my backside to make a move. And I did make a move. And I made that move with desperate conviction. I was sick of her and her foolishness. And I ended that nonsense. And when it was time for me to move on and go to the next day, she was so happy, so excited. She was so excited, congratulating me. I'm looking at this kid like, what? It's so good to see you, Sister Steph. Huh? Is this kid congratulating? No, she can't. And she looked sincere. Hey! So I asked her, what? How can you be doing this when you are the reason why I quit this job? I'm leaving because of you and your attitude. What? Well, anyway, where you are going and what you are about to do next is more suited to you anyway. It is much better you. So if I was part of the reasons why you finally decided to make the move that you should have made a long time ago, then maybe I'm not upset. I'm like, what? She had no idea. Yeah. The vessels that will be used to torment you often don't know who they are in your story. The villains and aggressors in your story do not even know their titles. They just happen to do their job because they are prompted to do so by the universe. The universe will dictate that these people will disrespect you, that these people will mistreat you, that these people will undermine you, and they will do it consistently until you are sick and tired of it and willing to do something about it. That is the universe's way of forcing your hand to do stuff. So the frustrations you feel as you are on a progressive journey, they should just actually encourage you to keep pushing. But one of the things I have found that will help you to have clarity and to keep pushing is an understanding of why is it you need to push in the first place. For me, I am a woman of a certain age with a set of qualifications, lots of experience. We had a parents meeting event recently. There are 2 women in my school who have the doctor title. There are 4 people in the school now with the doctor title. 2 of them get their doctor title acknowledged easy, but we all have worked the same hard job it takes to get this. The first person who is acknowledged is the CEO. Everybody calls him by his doctor title. He has the same doctorate I have. Well, maybe not in the same discipline, but he does have a doctorate degree, so do I. And the principal also has the title, and guess what? Everybody acknowledges these 2 people with their titles. The other 2 are on the teaching staff. Funnily enough, both of us are in my department. I walked in and my name had written, not even Mrs., because I am not Miss. I am Mrs. If you don't acknowledge my doctorate title, the actual title which is accurate for me is Mrs. No, it wasn't Mrs., it was Miss, MS. I'm not Miss. I am Mrs. I am Doctor. None of them acknowledged on a piece of paper. I looked at the piece of paper and I thought, well, for me, this is not the first time. It's been happening for a long time, so no surprises there. The other person, who is fairly new, walks in, picks her name, sees that her name is a Miss, and she raises the name tag. And I just shrug and I leave it. And we carry on. Somewhere in the middle of the, I can't remember, it was done over 2 days, so I don't know whether it was on the first day sometime or maybe sometime on the second day. The principal comes, the principal sees the title, and she asks, but why is this on here? That's not your title. And I shrugged again. That's not your title. Because you see, the principal is somebody who understands the rank. She knows what it takes to get one, and she respects those who do it. And she says, but this is not your rank. Why is this here? And I'm like, that's how it happens in this place. We haven't dwelled on it. She hasn't brought it up for us to discuss it in any way. But in that moment, I looked at it, and it dawned on me. If I want myself to be acknowledged with my full credentials, I will need to do something else. Whilst I remain in this position, I will experience these things. It won't change. The next time we have a parents meeting again, the same paper with Miss Mamet will be in front of me yet again. That is the universe's challenge. If I don't want to be Miss Mamet, I need to find myself in circles, in professional circles where my rank is acknowledged. There is a university that I did some volunteering thing with. Nobody in that university has ever called me anything apart from my rank. Whether it is in emails, whether it is in conversations, it is full title. All other dealings with all other people who are aware of my rank, I don't need to remind anybody. The only place where I need to remind people, and they conveniently never remember, is where I work. But they do know my title. They do know very well. Again, you will listen to these things and you might get really upset by it. No, there's no point getting upset by it. It's important that you recognize what it is and what it means. Everywhere else, I will get my emails. Good morning, Dr. Mamet, in places where they do not use your surname. Or good morning, Dr. Amfurobe. Hello, Doc. The professors acknowledge title. Those who outrank me acknowledge that title. The people who don't acknowledge that title are people who are not even your rank at all. Yeah. Why would that be? Because it tells you that you need to change your circle to make sure that you operate within the circles where people acknowledge rank and can acknowledge rank. That is my challenge. Nanaya, if that title is important to me, if I expect that title to be acknowledged on a daily basis, I will need to change my circumstances and make sure that I go and operate routinely in a place where people recognize that rank and acknowledge it. I need to orchestrate changes so that I get a new ID card that says Dr. Amfurobe from the very start. I need to be introduced to people with that title from the beginning, Doc. And that is how you continue. I was here before I got the title. People have settled into routine. Do not feel the need to change anything. I don't feel the need to enforce it. There is no need to be upset. There is no need to make noise. It is what it is. You cannot be mad at the players. You need to change the game. I'm telling you the story as an example. I need to change the game. It's not anybody who does. who needs to do nothing. It's me who needs to change the game if I don't want to play it. And that's what the universe does. Do you recognize these patterns in some aspect of your life? You are with a man. He disrespects you. He treats you badly. You know that he is not the right man for you, but you continue to stay there. He will continue to treat you the way he does. He will not change the way he treats you. He will not. He will not change the way he treats you. He already feels he can disrespect you. So guess what? He will continue to disrespect you. And he will do so until the day you get sick and tired of him disrespecting you. Yeah, junkie. He will continue to disrespect you until the day you get sick and tired of him disrespecting you. The day you are actually sick of him disrespecting you, you will put parameters in to make sure either he does not disrespect you within your circles, or that you remove yourself so he doesn't get to disrespect you. I know women who were with men, and after the relationship ended, wow, Amma, you wouldn't think it is the same man. I'm like, what do you mean? This bugger who had treated me so disrespectfully for years, you should see how he talks to me now, yeah? Because you have put some respect to your name, finally. He's no longer permitted to disrespect you, and he's acknowledged it. That's why when he's here to pick the children, he does so. Amma, he walked into my house and removed his shoes outside. Yeah? When we lived together, he wouldn't do that. Yeah. At the same time, you have experienced the same treatment, because I'm not telling you a word of a lie, Steph. When they were married, he will not do the simple thing, the simple courtesy of removing his shoes before he enters the house. When they first divorced, he will not remove his shoes before he enters the house. And so she got sick and tired of him doing that. She stopped him from entering her house. So it wasn't the divorce which automatically brought it. When the divorce happened, he still entered the house with his shoes. And so she began to answer the door and ask him to wait, and kept the door closed. And she would fetch the children, and she would show the children out to him. When he brought the children back, she would stand at the door, usher the children in, and keep him out. And he did not like the neighbors watching them on the doorstep. He didn't like being at the step to discuss affairs. He wanted to come in. And that's when she exerted, you will not walk into my house with your shoes. You intend to come to my house, you will obey the rules. You are a guest. And I extend the guest courtesies to you if you learn how to respect how to be a guest in my house. And if you do not know how to be a guest in my house, you don't enter my house. Guess what? Now he comes, he removes his shoes before he even rings the doorbell. He can do it. Of course he can do it. This guy who used to shout and scream is suddenly a gentleman. Boundaries are now established with him. Eugene, now he knows what he can and cannot do. It's the same woman. It's just now she enforces things. Previously, she used to let things slide. And the universe will push you until you are not willing to tolerate the things you shouldn't tolerate. It will be cranked up. The heat will be cranked up, cranked up, cranked up. As for me, the heat is now cranking up in so many places, it's not even funny. Some of the things that crank in my nyash don't make sense. The people who are cranking it do not even understand what they are pushing me to decide. Those people are pushing me to push my business, and they don't even know they are responsible for the hunger that is pushing my business. You know why? They are reminding me that staying in the workforce is not going to serve me for another 5 years. I will not be able to tolerate what the workplace is like. Past 5 years. I think 5 years is pushing it. I will not be able to tolerate the attitude, and I will not be able to tolerate the working hours. I certainly won't be able to tolerate the conditions of service. After this procedure, I am struggling to stand on duty for an hour. I'm struggling. Imagine in 5 years, I will struggle some more. I won't be able to do it. And this illness has brought it right here for me to see. It has helped me to understand some expectations of the work are expectations of the work. It will not change. As a teacher, you will teach, and you will be expected to stand on duty. I am struggling to stand now. Project 5 years on. Will I be able to perform the way I am supposed to? Yesterday, I did 2 labs with 2 classes. 2 labs. And by the time I finished the second lab, my body was beat, but there was still a lot of things to be done. No, I cannot renegade on those things. No. You have to push. Whether your body is broken or not, you have to push. You push. You do. In the middle of the day, whilst I was struggling to manage, I got an email requiring me to take on an additional class for somebody. That's what happens in teachers' lives. That's a typical. My body is already broken. The classes on my timetable already are a struggle. I was soldiering through that one. No, the person who did cover decided she was giving me extra. Was she mean? No, she was not. I'm a teacher. And a teacher needed to be put on cover. I was a teacher who could be put on cover. I don't think she even had a minute to remember that I am a teacher who is facing back in. I was on cover. Those are the things that will happen to you to remind you of the things you ought to do, the things you need to put in place. And so I know that I cannot be in this teacher role for another 5 years. I couldn't. And now that I know I couldn't do this teacher job for another 5 years, the next question comes, so what the hell are you going to do? Well, in my case, I need to sort out my business. So I have a business to escape to. It's that simple. I need to make sure my business thrives. I need to make sure my business is able to step in and cover my bills. You see how the universe has gone round in full circle to remind me that I need to focus on my business. Yeah. I'm walking in today knowing that the classes I have may not be the only classes I have to deal with. And to make matters even worse for me, if my cover was given to me in the morning when I first walked in, like most other people did, I would have had all morning to plan and to get used to it. No. The universe wanted to do what it wants to do. Did not allow my cover to be given to me in the morning so I could get used to it, so that I will not be no. My cover was an emergency halfway through the day when I had already committed. Good morning. How are you? When I was already committed to a plan, when I was already oriented, when I was struggling already, the universe thought, let's crank it up. Boom! Here is something else to do. Yeah. And I reeled. I really did. And at that time, I asked myself the question, how much longer can I keep doing this? And the answer came, not much longer. How much longer can I continue to do this? Not much longer. So guess what? When I got home, I sat down and I started thinking about the things that I could do in my business to push it further. I had to think because the circumstances forced me to think. Yeah, that's how the universe works. And when you understand it, you don't hate the player. No, yesterday I did not message the player to whine. No, I did not complain. I took it on the chin in understanding. This is the universe telling me that I need to stop being an idiot and work on my business. And so it left a bitter taste in my mouth, but I accepted the lesson. Do you know why you need to do what you have chosen or you dream of doing? You want to start a business. I've just explained all the reasons why I need to focus on mine. Do you have that clarity on why you should focus on yours? If you do, then we'll be fine. Morning. How are you? If you have that, I'm very good. No, don't wait. It will take me a long time. I feel like a grandmother. We'll continue this conversation, okay?